Today, we'll be ranking these skills based on its difficulty. Now, for context, we're pretending that you've never done this before, it's your first time, and we're ranking it based on how much time it'll take you for you to be considered good or be able to do the skill. So first up is back tuck. I couldn't find an image to represent the whole thing, but essentially what a back tuck is, if you didn't know, is you do a cartwheel into a backflip, and I think it would take at least a month. I think for people it would take a couple months who don't know how to do a cartwheel or backflip, but it's definitely not going to take you a year. And we're basing this off of dedicated training too. So yeah, I think at least a month. Next up, butterfly knife tricks. There are very easy ones, and then there's the more complicated ones. If you spend a month dedicated on butterfly knife tricks, then I think you'll be considered pretty good at it. Next up, full planche. Years. I train a bit of calisthenics here and there because my relative strength is actually pretty good. Doing the full planche, I've heard it takes up to 2 to 3 years, if not more. So I think the fastest won't even be within a year to learn it. So at least years. 3 by 3 blind. I'd say at least a month. Well, actually no, maybe a year. You know what? A year, right? Because I do cubing. I was basing it off of me. Well, we're not basing it off of me. We're basing it off of not being able to do the skill. First, you have to learn how to solve the Rubik's Cube, and then you have to learn it blindfolded. And I'm going to say that at least takes a year. I think it's doable within a year. Definitely not in a month, though. Next up, cooking a medium rare steak. A couple days. You know what? People think it's hard. You got to do a lot of stuff, add some seasoning and all this stuff. But you know what? If you just follow a recipe, you might screw up the first day, but if you spend a few days on it, you're going to get it. It's not too difficult. If you have a couple brain cells, I'm sure you could do it. Next up, chess. Anybody can play chess. If you play dedicated chess for a month, I think you'd be an amateur. I was thinking, I would say years because we're basing it off of being good at the skill, right? Because anybody can play chess, everybody understands the rules. It's one of those games or sports, as you may call it, where it's easy to distinguish people who play it for fun and people who are actually good at it. Next up, ice sculpting. You know what? Don't get mad at me. It takes 2 seconds, okay? Right? Because art is subjective. If you've seen what people sell on eBay and manage to actually sell that, I don't actually have eBay. I just heard stories where people just sell what looks like art to them, but art's pretty subjective. If I were to have a pickaxe and just mine at hard ice, by all means, I think I'd call it art. Speaking of language, a foreign language. Speaking of foreign language, years, right? Because to be fluent in a foreign language, a language that you actually don't know, I feel like this is understandable no matter where you're from. Just learning a different language that's not native to yours. So, yeah. Next up, painting. Don't get mad. Takes 2 seconds, right? Get a baby, get a paintbrush, and get a board, and just get him to whatever he wants to do, right? Someone with 2 brain cells can do it. Like I said, art is subjective. People sell whatever they want to sell on art. So, next up, piano. If you play for a few months, you wouldn't be considered good, but you would be considered as someone who plays piano. So I think I would put it in at least a month. Now, I played it for years, which is why I would consider myself pretty good, but I think in terms of being good at piano, it's also subjective because songs are not complicated, but whatever you play on piano, if it's not messy, then it sounds good, right? At least that's how I see it, so I would say at least a month, not years. Spend a few months dedicated to piano and you actually sound pretty good. It's amazing. Singing, at least a month. Just like piano, your voice is an instrument. If you train it, just like you train your fingers on the piano, you're going to sound pretty good. Everybody has different talents, but I think singing is something everybody can do because singing is relative to everyone. Now typing. Good at typing. Also at least a month. I don't think a few days is enough to be considered good at typing, and I think if you spend a month, just 1 month, dedicated to typing really fast, I'm not talking 100 words per minute, but I'm just saying, if you're writing an essay and you're doing it in a fluent motion, I would consider that you're good at typing. Well, this is the list for today. If you guys disagree, just let me know, but other than that, peace.